Hi, and welcome back to our next module on learning how to use Aesop. On this one, we're going to go through some additional information on Aesop. So a big question that I've been constantly asked on Aesop is, can a teacher request a certain sub for their classroom during their absence? And the answer is no, but there's a note with that. Teachers can only put the absence into Aesop. They can't say, I want to have John Doe be the only person that can see the absence in the system. Or they can't prearrange the substitute, meaning that they go in there and they accept the job for the substitute. There has to be a handoff that the teacher puts the absence in, and then the substitute goes in and accepts the job. The note with this is a teacher can set up a preference list for absences in their classroom, which a preference list is a list of favorite subs that they want for their classroom. So let's say I know that I'm going to be gone the first week of May, and John Doe is on my preference list along with Jane Doe and Johnny Doe. And so what's going to happen is when I put in my assignment, John, Jane, and Johnny are all going to be able to see the assignment. And so then it's going to be whoever out of those three is the first person to accept the assignment, that's going to be the person that's going to be the sub in my classroom. So the trick with it is if a teacher wants you to sub for them, the best thing to do is to have them contact you as soon as the job is in the system, so that then you can go in and you can accept the assignment. Now, the other thing that a teacher can do if they wish is they can take off the other people on the preference list and just have you on there, so that you'd be the only person to be able to have a crack at the assignment for a certain amount of time. What I tell all substitutes is, again, if a teacher comes to you and says, I want to have you work as a substitute for my assignment, you need to tell the teacher to input the absent into Aesop and then call you so that you can accept the position. One thing to note with the preference list is if it's an assignment that's happening the next day, the time period that it's going to go through the people that are on the preference list is going to be a small period of time. So it is possible, because it's going to be open up that all subs can see it, you might miss that opportunity. So just have the teacher, as soon as they know, contact you when they put it into the system so that you can go in and accept it. Please remember that the job is not accepted until you have that job number. So make sure that you have that job number, and that's going to show that you are the sub for that job. Now, in the past, there has been something that has happened that a teacher has forgotten to put their assignment into Aesop, and so their administrator has put it in for them. But what the teacher has done is the teacher has gone in, has talked to the sub and said, I want you to work for me on this day. And so what happens in this case is two subs show up for the same assignment. The sub that the teacher talked to directly, that they hadn't gone in and accepted the assignment in Aesop, but then also the sub that had gone into Aesop and accepted the assignment that the secretary or the administrator had put in. And so this brings up a good question as to who is the sub that is going to be able to work that assignment. And the answer is the assignment would go to the sub that has the job number, because it has gone through Aesop, the substitute accepted the job in Aesop. They would be the one that has accepted that job. Now, the substitute that had just talked to the teacher, yes, they wouldn't be working this assignment, but I would highly recommend calling the substitute coordinator and seeing if there are other assignments that are available that day. If there are, we can just move you into that other assignment, and then you'd be able to continue on from there. So if this does happen to you, don't fret. Just make sure that you're calling the coordinator, and she'll see if there's other assignments that are available to you that day. What do I do if there's no lesson plans? Attached to this, there's going to be a substitute teacher handbook that we've written. If you go to page 16 to 35, it talks about having a substitute teacher folder or a sub pack. This is something that's highly recommended by the school district for subs to have. This is just a Plan B folder. So this would be ideas and things that you can use if you get into a classroom and there's no lesson plans, or you're doing lesson plans for the day and you end up that you have additional time at the beginning, or excuse me, at the end of the day. Instead of turning the time over to the students, you could pull out things that are in the sub pack. There's ideas in there such as having word searches that are age appropriate. So if you have extra minutes that it's time that you're trying to fill, you can pull out word searches and have the students engaged in that for that last 5 minutes. Or with higher grades, you could have a newspaper and say, okay, a current event of the day is terrorist attack that happened in London is one that happened today. So you could have them write about that and what their thoughts are on that. And so it's an engaging activity. It's still a positive learning activity and environment that would help in those situations. And so I do highly recommend reading through those sections in the Substitute Teacher Handbook. Again, it's going to be added here as a resource for you on the training video. I highly recommend downloading that and getting those ideas just so that you have something with you to help you in those situations. Okay, next thing that we're going to go through is the different types of substitute teacher positions that are found in Aesop. Your first one is your teacher. This would be when a classroom teacher is going to be gone. So you are going to be taking the classroom for Mr. Doe over at Rocky Mountain Middle School. He's going to be gone the week of May 1st through May 4th. So you're going to be in the same classroom for that same teacher for that period of time. The next one is a vacancy teacher assignment, which means you're a floating sub for multiple teachers. Example of this would be, let's say the 5th grade over at Bridgewater is going to be gone for a training at various points during the day. So you'll be starting out in one classroom for, say, a period, then you'll be going to the next classroom. It's going to be several classrooms that you'll be covering for that day, but it's all going to be for teacher positions. The next one is vacancy teacher assignment, where you're floating sub for a single teacher. It may be that for one reason or another we had to put an absence in to get a sub for a teacher, but it's not going to be assigned to a specific teacher in Aesop. So you go to the school and they would say, oh, we need you to sub for the English teacher. So you'd be in an English classroom for that day. Special education, I put this in its own category, so when you go into Aesop and see what the assignments are, you'll be able to see that this is a special ed classroom versus on the other ones I'll say if it's grade school, what grade level it is, or if it's the middle school and high school, I'll let you know what subject the teacher teaches. So special ed teachers are also going to let you know that it's a special ed classroom. If it has initials like DRR or other ones like that, those are the more severe kids that would need more severe help. The other ones that just say special ed teacher, if it's elementary outside of Summit Hills and Discovery, it's probably more just one-on-one with students to help them with reading and English. They're not the severe needs kids. This is in-school suspension program at Rimrock. This is a substitute teacher assignment that you would be one-on-one, or in some cases it may be multiple students and you in a smaller classroom. These students have been formally suspended from their regular schools for elementary school kids. They're sent to Rimrock, and they're sent with their regular school assignments, and you are alone with them and the students in the classroom. It's a smaller classroom. So in this assignment, you would want to help them with their homework, keep your thumb on them, make sure that they're doing their assignments, they're completing them, answer any questions that they have. But it is also recommended that you bring something for you to do during that day, something that's quiet. Please don't go into this assignment with your phone that you're going to play videos or video games all day or chat on Facebook. But do bring a book to read or other quiet activity that you can do while you're in the classroom with them. The assignments that I've gone through so far, these are all under the substitute teacher pay scale that we'll go over in a few minutes. The next one is the full-time paraprofessionals. Their positions are also on Aesop. It will let you know if it's a special ed paraprofessional, if it's a one-on-one, if it's a Title I. These assignments are paid a little bit differently, that they fall under the paraprofessional rate of pay. And so we'll again go through that again in a future slide. But just remember, the teacher ones, if it's a teacher one, it'd be the higher rate of pay, including the in-school suspension program, whereas the paraprofessional ones would be a different rate of pay. At the end of the school year, what we do is we're going to send out an email to all the substitute teachers letting them know it's the end of the school year, and it's going to ask them to please email us back and let us know if you want to be placed on the substitute teacher list for the next school year. What you would just need to do then is email me or email the coordinator and let us know that you want to remain on the list, and we'll roll you over. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to send in a packet or anything. Just respond to that email. Same thing if something happens during the school year and you're no longer able or wish to substitute for the school district, please send the substitute teacher placement coordinator an email or a letter letting us know that you wish to be removed from the list. One thing that we do ask is to please include a forwarding address, if applicable, or a current address so that we can send out the W-2 tax information at the end of the school year. This ensures that we have a correct email address, a correct address for you so that we can send that information out to you. And this is going to be a good stopping point for us. And we'll see you on our next module.